also think that in the whole paparazzi-gate situation, what some viewers and fans and maybe even people on your cast seem to be missing, which is so confounding to me, is that you did, according to what we've been told on the show, you did tell Katie not to bring it up. But the issue is that she brought it up, and because she brought it up on camera, you were then going to bring it up to Heather. So I don't understand. I guess what I don't understand is why Heather is so mad because you did try to keep it from coming on the show. What are your reflections right now? Did Heather ever understand that?
I don't know. And it is starting to, honestly, it is starting to upset me like in real time now because I'm like, wow, I couldn't have had her back more. I couldn't, I was the only one who was speaking up every single time. I was communicating directly to Katie that I thought this was all not valid. The stuff she was bringing up against Heather, the other stuff outside of the paparazzi stuff. And you see, Katie already admits that at the very beginning, I told her not to do this. So, and I'm glad that you guys see it because I hope everybody else sees it because it's so obvious. It's like, if we discussed this and I told you, and then you made a decision on your own to go forward, and now you're in hot water with Dubrow, and you realize that that doesn't feel good, and your instinct is to then push it back on me. Like, I'm hurt, honestly, by both of them.
No, that's also fair. And I'm glad that you're glad the viewers are seeing all of that. I wonder, do you think Heather will see that her comparing that to what you had to deal with last reunion with Shannon and your kids was not the best comparison, in my opinion? Do you?
I mean, I hope so because that to me really was ridiculous. And at the very least, it's like what you're comparing it to is something that like Shannon did that specifically to me.
To hurt you, yeah.
I did not do this to Heather. Katie did this to Heather. In fact, I tried to stop Katie from doing this. So, and honestly, and since last year, I'm the only one who believes her, who consistently believes her. And yet I'm still the one who did something wrong. And you get to a point where you're like, all right, I realize I don't really think this is a me problem. And I don't think that no matter what I do, I'm ever going to be seen as not betraying these women or abandoning these women. I think we also need to be careful about the words we use because, like, betrayal and abandonment are very heavy in words, and I don't feel like what happened there, me being like, haha, that's funny. Heather got caught with her pants down. Oh, wait, don't do it. It's not a good idea for either of you, da 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 da, is betrayal.
Watching this all play back on the show, you said that it was kind of making you upset. I'm wondering how reliving it is impacting your current relationship and dynamic with Heather. What's the communication like these days?
It's funny because it's like the communication is actually good, great, between Heather and I. But that's part of what I think I'm realizing myself is like anytime that I sense that she's going to be upset about something, whether it's something I've done or somebody else, I'm like concerned about her feelings. I'm like picking up the phone and calling her and all of that. And it's like at a certain point when you see things that are happening that are upsetting towards me and it's not reciprocated,
Hmm.
it's like I watching between last week and this week and seeing how this all played out, I am upset about it. And watching other people, other women, other ones of Heather's friends say the things that they've said and weigh in on the situation the way that they have. And guess we're all good. They're still friends. Everybody's still friends. That's okay. Like I'm the only one I feel like at this point that's even still taking a hit for something that I didn't do.
Wow. Because I would have expected after last week's episode, Heather to reach out to you and be like, it was heat of the moment. I made a comparison that wasn't right, but she not picking up she's not picking up the phone.
Mm, not to say that.
Oh, okay. All right. So you plan to move forward now that you're sort of having these internal reflections? Do you plan on saying something to her? Because I feel like that's like sometimes it's hard to communicate something to a friend that you know is just going to upset them and potentially set you back further. But then if you don't, it just keeps stewing and you don't feel good. So we're like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's a tricky mess, man. get the Clorox wipes out, I guess, man. I don't know. It's tough. And I don't, and it's also, it's interesting too, because we have, reunion coming up, so it's like, we still have to have all these conversations. So it's like, do I have these conversations now? Do we have them there? I really am not somebody who wants to ever just come in and chop anyone's head off, but I like to have these constructive conversations. So hopefully we can have that. I think the difference is some people, with regard to the Heather situation, if anybody, it's not a thing with me of me being afraid of Heather. I genuinely care about Heather. So I care about her feelings, but Heather's very sensitive. So I feel like I operate around that sensitivity a lot. And at a certain point, it just gets to be too much,